It's Tuesday, May 16th, and this is now on HNN.
Former City Councilmember Ikaika Anderson is arrested and charged in a domestic abuse case.
A shark encounter in waters off Oahu is caught on camera. We'll hear from the fisherman who saw his life flash before his eyes.
There are benefits, but we don't yet know whether they will outweigh the risks.
Lawmakers are taking on artificial intelligence. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill with the concerns from senators and the industry.
Anybody who's visiting the beach should just be cognizant of the surroundings.
These stories plus overnight camping is suspended at a popular Oahu Beach park for this summer's turtle nesting season. Details coming up on This Is Now.
Good afternoon. Happy Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on This Is Now.
That's right. Honolulu police have arrested and charged former City Council member Ikaika Anderson with allegedly abusing his 34-year-old girlfriend in Waimanalo last night. Authorities say Anderson has been charged with alleged abuse of a family member, a misdemeanor offense. Officers arrested the 45-year-old at a Waimanalo residence at around 7:45 p.m. last night. According to a police report, the victim reported a domestic violence situation to a third party, who then reported it to the Hawaii County Police Department. Anderson's attorney said the arrest was based on a one-sided accusation of a misdemeanor offense and claimed no crime was committed. Anderson was released after posting $1,000 bail. He served on the city council from 2009 to 2021 and ran an unsuccessful campaign for lieutenant governor last year.
The driver in a deadly Christmas Eve hit and run on Kauai will never be allowed to drive again. A judge permanently revoked the license of Sandon Igne. That's in addition to a 10-year prison sentence handed down yesterday. In 2020, the 33-year-old crashed head-on into another car on Kaumoali'i Highway, killing Delphin Geronimo and his daughter Eugenia Villanueva. Igne's blood alcohol level was nearly twice the legal limit. Igne pled no contest. We're also getting a look at the suspect accused of stomping on the windshield of an 82-year-old woman's car in Nanakuli. It's believed 31-year-old Nathan Awela Naki was standing in the middle of Farrington Highway just after midnight on Sunday. The victim stopped her car to avoid hitting him, after which he allegedly jumped on the car and began stomping. It's unclear if the victim was hurt, but her vehicle sustained significant damage. The suspect fled, but police were able to arrest him a short time later for felony criminal property damage.
HPD has released a sketch of the suspect wanted for allegedly following a woman into the fourth-floor bathroom at Alamoana Shopping Center and sexually assaulting her. It happened on Sunday, May 7th at 12:45 in the morning. The suspect's described as a man in his 30s with short brown hair and a heavy build. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 955-8300. A woman found floating in the ocean was saved by a tour boat off Oahu yesterday. At around 3:30 p.m., the Honolulu Fire Department said it responded to the scene at Kewalo Basin Waterfront Park for a person with an altered mental status. We're told crews on the Korokai, a boat with Living Ocean scuba tours, discovered the woman in the water.
They could not get a response. The woman was not responding to their questions of, are you in distress? Do you need help? They said she was in distress and that she was still not responding, but they weren't sure if it was an English barrier, a language barrier, or if she was just that in mental distress.
It's unclear where the woman came from or how long she was in the water. HFD says she declined treatment from them before being transferred to EMS. We reached out to EMS and the Coast Guard for more details and are awaiting a response.
A live snake was captured in Kula, Maui and turned over to state authorities on Monday. According to Maui 24/7, the snake was found near the back entrance of Kamehameha schools. Snakes are illegal in Hawaii and pose a significant threat to native wildlife. Anyone with information about illegal animals should call the statewide toll-free pest hotline at 808-643-PEST. Now to some heart-stopping video. An avid fisherman had the scare of his life in waters off Kualoa Beach, and the encounter was all caught on camera. Our Stephanie Lum has the story.
Tiger shark! Tiger shark ran me. Holy.
When I looked at the video hours later, only then was I really terrified.
Scott Haraguchi was just 2 miles off Kualoa Beach last Friday when his life flashed before his eyes. He estimates the tiger shark was about 10 feet long.
I was shaking for hours after that because it was so scary to see how close that shark came to biting my foot.
Haraguchi remembers the December 2013 tragedy off Maui. A kayak fisherman was killed after he was bit on the foot by a shark.
That's the only known kayak fatality, I think, in the world.
Another close call off Waianae in April 2013.
And the shark made a circle, came around, and ate the kava under my boat, hit my kayak, and then then it kind of hit me what just happened.
Haraguchi didn't have any catch in the water. He thinks it was a case of mistaken identity.
Very large seal, but it was like struggling to swim. So I think that the tiger shark thought I was the dead seal.
The 61-year-old from Kaimuki has been fishing for more than 20 years and has a blog called Hawaii Nearshore Fishing. After this close call, he says, be prepared.
If something really, really bad happens, you want to get rescued as soon as possible.
Tiger shark!
A GOP-led resolution to block a D.C. policing bill was approved by the Senate today. The Republican-controlled House passed the resolution in April, and the White House has threatened to veto the effort. The D.C. Council bill that the resolution aims to block includes provisions related to improving police accountability and transparency. The bill also addresses officer discipline, use of force reforms, and improved access to body camera recordings. Republicans have argued the bill weakens the power of law enforcement officers to effectively respond to crime and have labeled it an anti-police law.
Lawmakers are wrestling with artificial intelligence, grilling executives today on its safety as they try to come up with some sort of regulatory policy. Skylar Henry reports.
We have seen what happens when technology outpaces regulation.
After fake opening remarks, senators got very real about artificial intelligence.
The audio was an AI voice cloning software trained on my floor speeches. The remarks were written by ChatGPT.
Senators asked experts how Americans can trust this far-reaching technology.
There are benefits, but we don't yet know whether they will outweigh the risks.
If we don't step in, then this gets away from you.
Among the biggest concerns, job loss.
GPT-4 will, I think, entirely automate away some jobs, and it will create new ones that we believe will be much better.
Prepare the workforce of today and the workforce of tomorrow for partnering with AI technologies.
While the technology is still in its infancy, lawmakers explored the possibility that one day AI will know us better than we know ourselves.
Can't we foresee an AI system that is extraordinarily good at determining what will grab human attention and what will keep an individual's attention?
Senator Dick Durbin remarked it's a rare day when companies come to Capitol Hill asking for regulation.
What I'm hearing instead today is that stop me before I innovate again.
Lawmakers say they're committed to creating guardrails to prevent the spread of misinformation, preserve election integrity, and protect privacy. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A missing girl featured on the Netflix reboot of Unsolved Mysteries is back home with her father after 6 years apart. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children says someone spotted Kayla Unbinhan in Asheville, North Carolina. A store employee recognized her thanks to media coverage of her disappearance. Kayla's non-custodial mother, Heather Unbinhan, is charged with abducting her from the Chicago area when she was just 9 years old. Bond is set at $250,000, and the 40-year-old faces extradition to Illinois. Kayla's father says he's overjoyed and grateful to everyone who helped bring his daughter home. A Southern Kentucky teacher is being investigated over a school assignment that resulted in a student dressing up as a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Phil Pendleton has the story.
Students at Southern Middle School had an assignment to dress up as a historical figure. One chose Nathan Bedford Forrest, the first Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Pulaski school leaders say they learned the teacher approved it.
What was going through my mind is this is nothing new. This is stuff that this country endorses. It's happened in Pittsburgh school. It happened in California. It's happened in Texas.
But Pulaski County Superintendent Patrick Richardson says he's disappointed and embarrassed by this. In a statement, he further says he would hope that our school and community realize that this does not represent the character of our students and staff at Southern Middle School or our district as a whole. The teacher has been suspended pending a personnel investigation. The situation will be reported to the Educational Professional Standards Board.
I think there needs to be a large-scale initiative for sensitivity training. It should be mandatory.
Nathan Bedford Forrest was a Confederate Army general and first wizard of the KKK from 1867 to 1869. A bust representing him was recently removed from the Tennessee state capitol.
What's your definition of a heroic historical figure? And then would he have done the same thing if someone said, I want to come as Charles Manson? I want to come as Hitler.
There has been a video circulating on social media, namely TikTok, that shows a student on a school bus. We are also told that this video incorrectly identifies the teacher at the center of this. Therefore, we have chosen not to air that video. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Chrysler is recalling more than 130,000 of its 2014 through 2016 Jeep Cherokees due to a fire risk. The U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says an electrical issue in the power liftgate module could cause a fire, regardless if the vehicle is on or off. Citing the manufacturer, the NHTSA says a fix is being worked on. The agency recommends parking the vehicles outside and away from other vehicles until the problem is solved. Now, according to the agency, the vehicles were previously recalled in 2015. However, even vehicles repaired in that or prior recalls will still need the new fix. Well, Honu nesting season will lead to the overnight closure of Bellows Field Beach Park. Our Casey Lund takes us there.
Aloha and happy Tuesday from Bellows Field Beach Park, and you can see why this is such a special place for folks to come. Important to note that that overnight camping restriction is in place basically through the summer until August 31st. The city and county's Parks and Rec Department hopes to maybe open that up on Labor Day, but that has yet to be seen. It'll depend on how things go during the Honu nesting season. They are going to use some of that downtime to update and renovate some of the facilities and make some improvements. But we're also learning a little bit today about the Honu nesting season, and to do that, Dane Christensen is with us, Natural Resource Manager for Marine Corps Base Hawaii. And the U.S. Marines take this really seriously, protecting this special habitat. Talk to me a little bit about how important monitoring this is for the Honu that are so special to Hawaii.
Absolutely. So a critical component to adaptive management, if we want to be proactive and responsive to the needs of the sea turtle, is to monitor what we have. And so we have great partnerships with volunteer groups like Malamana Honu. And then, of course, we are good friends with NOAA and U.S. Fish and Wildlife. They're important key workers with us to make sure that we're monitoring beaches frequently enough to find out the frequency of nesting here, and then to measure whether we're seeing a decline in nesting or an increase in nesting. And we expect to see an increase, which is why it's important to save some of the habitat.
And I want to talk a little bit about habitat and what makes a good habitat for Honu. And I think what we were talking about a little bit earlier today when we were on Sunrise was that so much of this happens on the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, Papahanaumokuakea. How important is this, though, here in the main Hawaiian Islands to make sure that this is protected as well?
Absolutely. So climate change, the elephant in the room is that this is changing a lot of things for our endangered species, sea turtles. Everything from food availability and patterns and shifting, disease is influenced by climate change. But of course, we're going to see sea level rise and more intense and frequent storm surges. And with that, our beaches are going to erode faster. And then, of course, any beaches that aren't long enough or shallow enough for the sea turtles is going to inhibit their nesting. So we want to make sure that we have dark beaches, of course, but we want to make sure we have long beaches and well vegetated so that they don't erode away so that we can make that habitat.
Last question, Dade, and on a human level, just as somebody that studies Honu, what's it like? You've seen those hatchlings, and again, you said it was 1 in almost 1,000 that make it out to the ocean. What's it like seeing them make that journey? You've been there for that as well.
I have, and nothing puts a smile on your face quicker when you see hatchlings make it to the ocean just like they're supposed to.
Very good. Dane Christian with us from United States Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, Natural Resource Manager. All the details, again, on that closure online at hawaiinewsnow.com. For now, we'll send things back to you.
Thank you, Case. Beautiful day out there. Let's take you live now to the 9th Island. This is the Strip in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the temperature is 94 degrees, and they actually have thunderstorms in their forecast there today.
Wild
Nothing like
weather.
that. I know. Nothing like that here at home. Let's send it over to Guy Hagi with your forecast.
Friday looks like the day with the most rain. And then on Saturday, things will clear up pretty quickly. Hopefully, this is what happens, because this is just a computer model, right? Not 100%. There's uncertainty for some parts of that. But we are looking at pretty nice conditions for today and tomorrow with the trade winds in control, lots of sunshine, a few windward and mucus showers, but not a lot. And then starting Wednesday night through Thursday and Friday, that front drops in with juicy conditions. Also, when that front comes in, we're going to lose those trade winds, right? Corner winds coming in, and that will increase the humidity levels as well. And at times around the storms, some of the winds could be quite gusty, especially for those windward neighborhoods. And then if things work out according to the computer model, much drier conditions move in on Saturday for the weekend, and the winds will switch to trades again, and that should normalize things. But again, get ready for wet weather Thursday and Friday.
Now to a mind-blowing moment at a youth baseball game in Florida over the weekend. A dust devil quickly engulfed a young player, and a teen stepped in to help. Khalil Maycock has the story.
A seemingly normal tournament on this baseball field quickly turned into something else.
That is cool right there.
Within seconds, the wind started picking up and a dust devil formed. It quickly engulfed 7-year-old Bauer Zoya.
I couldn't breathe that much, so I held my breath, and I feel like I couldn't touch the ground, so I kind of lifted up a little bit.
Even though Zoya was only in the dust devil for a few seconds, he says it felt like he was in there for 10 minutes.
And I was scared, and I got afraid if someone would pull me out.
The person who did end up coming to Zoya's rescue was 17-year-old Aiden Wiles, the umpire.
I was worried about his safety because when I got taught, like, the player's safety is always the first thing.
Wiles says although he was initially a little afraid, he knew it was best for him to put his fear aside. The Dust Devil happened in the second game of a 3-game tournament at Fort Caroline. Zoya says the dust didn't stop him from continuing to play. His dad poured water on him to get the dirt out of his eyes, and then he went back in the game. And he believes what he went through helped him play better.
I caught one, and it was so high, and my dad said up, and then I caught it.
And while Zoya is happy it helped him play better, his dad is just glad Wiles had quick thinking and stepped in to help his son.
As a 16-year-old kid that just had the presence of mind just to do that, and it was pretty special to see. It's pretty cool to see yesterday. So good, he had obviously great parents raising that young man.
2 skeletons have been found in Italy's Pompeii, the latest discovery coming from the ruins of the ancient Roman city wiped out by an eruption from the Mount Vesuvius volcano nearly 2,000 years ago. Italian officials said the human remains were recovered from the house of the painters at work and are probably of 2 men in their 50s who died in an earthquake that accompanied the eruption. They said the victims were killed not by volcanic ash, but by building collapses, noting that wall fragments were found between their fractured bones. Pompeii, 14 miles southeast of Naples, was home to about 13,000 people when it was buried under ash and dust as it endured the force of an eruption in the year 79 AD, equivalent to many atomic bombs. Now, officials say at least 15 to 20% of the population was killed. Over the past 2.5 centuries, archaeologists have recovered the remains of more than 1,300 people.
Some fascinating discoveries out there. Wow.
And that dust devil, poor kid.
I know, right? My goodness. Well, when most people think of the Navy, they think of working on massive aircraft carriers and weapon systems. But of course, there are so many other jobs available to the sailors.
Yeah, so if you like music, you can become a musical ambassador in the U.S. Fleet Forces Band. Aaron Miller shows us the sailors that are hitting all the right notes.
Serving through symphony.
I think everyone would agree that we feel incredibly fortunate to be able to do what we do. Somewhere along the line, we encountered somebody that knew about this opportunity to actually serve our country in the military as musicians.
The trombones and saxophones replacing the more traditional military gear.
Noise, everybody. Let me hear how you doing today.
Whenever the leapfrog skydivers or the Blue Angels will visit a town, oftentimes we'll accompany them and play concerts.
I haven't heard any of the bands before, so it was a lot of fun, yeah.
They don't just play in the United States. The tunes take them around the world.
We try to pick repertoire that's appropriate for entertaining sailors because we do that, but we also pick music where we can honor veterans. We play a lot of patriotic music to honor our veterans.
I'm not sure why.
It's as simple as that.
But they gave me a drumstick to try out the tunes. Let's just say I'll be leaving the music to the professionals and those aspiring to join. It's not just the military classics either. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's a little rock and roll.
And it's just getting more and more competitive. Every music school across the country is cranking out amazing musicians, so we put a lot of care and effort into our work. I love getting to do this. I get to play the guitar for thousands of people in situations I probably never would otherwise have the opportunity to.
That is so awesome. They got some great tunes there as well. Very catchy. I was humming some of the tunes after listening to that story. It's going to be stuck in my head for quite a while. Ashley, are you a Lego fan?
I used to be.
Well, as a kid, I was never.
Oh, really?
I've never played with Legos, so I don't have the patience to build something like this. But take a look at this. This is the upcoming Batman Lego set. Get this. It has almost 4,000 pieces and is for adults. Of course, this is a replication from the 1992 film Batman Returns. It reconstructs a superhero's headquarters. It has movable parts, a Batmobile, and 7 minifigures of characters like the Penguin and Catwoman. And get this, this will set you back about $400.
Oh yeah, they're expensive.
Oh.
Keep in mind though, Dylan, the Legos I used to play with back in the day were huge. They weren't these little guys. They were like this big.
Yeah, I've just never had patience for that.
Yeah. Well, more good news. Don't forget, there is a free concert tonight on Oahu's North Shore featuring Kahuku native and American Idol finalist Ian Tongi. So a trolley convoy will kick things off at 4 p.m. starting at the Polynesian Cultural Center. It will make its way to the Turtle Bay Resort for the show, which starts at 5:15. Shuttle buses will operate starting at 3 from Kahuku High, BYU, and the Hau'ula Shopping Center. Of course, alcohol, chairs, outside food, and obviously weapons will not be allowed. And this lineup, you guys, is stacked. Jack Johnson, Paula Funga, John Cruz, Common Kings, and of course, Tongi himself. We'll have live coverage of the festivities starting at 4 o'clock throughout our newscast.
We are rooting for him. He's definitely bringing a new wave of pride
I
to
feel
the
like
North
he's
Shore.
got this.
Yeah, let's go, Hawaii. Be sure to cast your votes for him on American Idol. Thank you all so much for tuning in to This Is Now. Have a great afternoon.
Aloha.